What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. I am on the road today, so I wanted to make a quick video. Sorry, the audio quality is not going to be as good as home. But anyway, today I want to share 5 things I learned from a mom who's building a reselling career in a bad home situation. And I think this might be useful for some people. I've been heavily criticized for talking about my situation, which is I have no kids, not married yet, and I really don't have as much responsibility as people who are trying to build this business with, tough situations or circumstances. Honestly, the toughest thing I've had to raise is a Tamaguchi. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's not that difficult. So I want to share someone who's in a more difficult, challenging situation. Hopefully, you guys can gain some insights from 5 things she shared with me to get it going. So the first thing is she says that the fact that her relationship with her husband and her kids is bad and it's her fault. Okay, now this may not be true. There might be some other environmental factors, but she's claiming ownership of it so that she can empower herself to fix it. She says that most of the things that have been an issue she thinks is derived from poor scheduling, poor diet, and then lack of rest and too high of stress. So she's going to do the best she can to prioritize and schedule things, meal prep, do things in batch work to try to reduce some of that burden because it can be tough, especially if your partner is not supportive. So her partner not supportive monetarily and also not supportive of a reselling business, that makes it extremely challenging. Okay, the second thing is she wants to prioritize her kids over everything else, which means she's not going to be able to do it by herself. And that's just a reality. You can't spend all the time with your kids and spend all the time on your business. There's not enough hours in the day. So she has committed herself to finding help. Now, this is tough because, as we all know, you start complicating it once you start adding more pieces of the pie, and no one will work as hard on your business as you. So I just want to share the way that she has started to do that, which was she's starting with both family members and contractors. She's trying both, and it's tough because she's sharing with me that sometimes they're late, sometimes they don't show up, sometimes they're not doing things, but she has said that all of that is her fault. Okay, for not having the right incentives, rewards, compensation for people to show up, and also not having clear instructions so that they can actually do what she needs them to do. And that all comes from systematizing and taking a lot of time to make everything so clear that people can just adjust it. And that brings me to her third point, which was how does she handle when the listers and contractors and her in-laws or whoever are trying to help and mistakes happen? Because she's like in the beginning, she's having trouble because she's having to go back and fix what they're doing incorrectly, and it's ending up taking more time than just doing it herself. But she knows that if she wants to spend 100% of time with her kids, she does need some help. So it's kind of a challenging balance. But she was saying that if you blame yourself for the productivity, then your people start to respect you more, and then they start to open up and just share exactly what's not working. So if they're missing certain supplies, if they don't understand what's going on, then they know they can have a healthy environment to say, hey, look, I can't do my job properly if I don't have X, Y, Z, and she can knock that out. And I had shared a story in a previous episode that rang true for her, and I wanted to share it with you guys, which is creative work usually earns a rate of $50 or more an hour. In fact, at the highest level of creative work, people are earning $50,000 an hour for 1 second because they use their whole lifetime of experience to come up with a tagline that fully encompasses something. As an example, BMW, the ultimate driving machine. That tagline is unbelievable and it costs 50 grand, right? Because that creative work is so intense. Now, the opposite of that is work that is just executing, right? So like you show up, you do an exact task, and you go home. And that task usually pays minimum wage. Okay, so what I see and what she was seeing was, hey, can you list this item for me? That's a very creative endeavor. They've got to figure out how to do it. And that kind of job usually gets paid $50 or more an hour. That's why the book, The E-Myth Revisited, and books where they talk about working in your business versus on your business are so powerful because you realize creating stuff is the most valuable thing that you can do. Systematizing your company increases your hourly every single time you work on something. So I told my audience, don't focus on, like, your people are not going to come up with the processes for you. You have to help them, or you have to go in there, join them when doing something to figure out all the processes, because that's a $50 an hour job and you're hiring them for minimum wage, or sometimes less than minimum wage, or sometimes you're trading services, or sometimes you are asking a favor from somebody and not paying them at all. Well, you need to be super clear when you're doing that. And in my experience, hiring family members, from what I have seen, doesn't work out that well. I know some people do it really well. There's Resales. He has his family that he really trusts operating some of his FBA Amazon business, and it works out well for him. In other cases, I've seen it work out horribly. I think it just depends on your expectations and exactly what the task list is. Okay, next one is, she's saying that slow eBay sales or Poshmark or Mercari sales are always her fault. It's not the site. It's not a scam. It's not, the sky is falling. It's none of that. It's always her fault. And she broke it down into three things that I always talk about, which is she doesn't have the right price on her items, she doesn't have the right product mix, and she doesn't have the right promotion. So if you have the wrong stuff for too much money, and you don't have a mix of things for people to look at and diversify your risk a little bit, then you are in trouble. And so she's not blaming the website. She's not spending time watching videos that are not related to improving or learning how to do something. She's moving away from complaining and towards improving the stuff that she's selling, getting better stuff at a better price. Now, I do want to present something really interesting here, which was I was actually called out for being the Walmart of Poshmark. And I specifically, you are the Walmart of Poshmark because one, you're using foreign labor, and two, your prices are better than other people. Now, here's the thing that's kind of weird to me. First of all, I'm not trying to be Walmart, I'm trying to be Marshalls. Okay, so I take a little bit of offense to that because I like the experience at Marshalls a lot more than the experience at Walmart. If you guys have been to both stores, it's totally different. One's super well lit and they provide designer stuff for discount prices. That's the exact store that I'm trying to build. Second of all, foreign labor is odd because four out of the six people that I use work in the US, and I don't know. It's tough. Like I understand the wanting to hire all U.S. workers, but there's like it's challenging because it's expensive. One of the brands that I want to bring up with you guys that I think is incredible is a brand based out of Detroit called Shinola. It's very cool. They make really really high crafted leather goods, and it's a brand based in the USA. Now, when you walk into the store, they say specifically, this is only assembled in the US. As much as we want to do it in the United States only, it's very hard to produce something manually here with US rates from start to finish. It's just very hard. But they don't want to just be completely a foreign company making stuff. So I feel like it's a balance of both. That's what I'm trying to do. If, it's challenging. I get it. I believe the American dream is actually building a business or building an enterprise or being part of a powerful enterprise because it's cool. It's you're being industrious. You're providing jobs for other people. There are several people in my company that earn 100% full-time living from what I am providing them. So that's how I look at it, right? And I just want to bring this up because it's the climate that we're in right now, I feel like is more based towards discount retail. Okay, so I don't feel like it's as easy to just be an artisan and create your own brand and sell it for triple or quadruple what a normal brand costs with already the clout and brand recognition. It's very, very, very challenging. One person I look to for inspiration is a lady named Suzanne Cannon on Poshmark who has her own brand, Infinity Rain. And I find it's incredible that she is able to make a brand for herself, design all this stuff, push it out, market it, sell it, and earn a profit, and be able to afford a brick and mortar and a partner. Okay, that's insanely difficult. Okay, so, and I believe her stuff is even made in the US, which is even more challenging. But I'm saying she is one example, and there are very few examples like her. Most people who are successful in the reselling are selling other people's hard work. Okay, they're finding things at a discount and selling those. So I recommend if you are just starting or you don't have enough capital to start a private label, sell other people's brands that you buy at a discount. That's where I see the market going towards, especially as a millennial. Millennials don't like to pay retail for anything, so that's a tough market to be in. Okay, you don't get the full price sale of selling something at a retail store, and retail is continuing to die. So anyway, she is focused on selling discount goods that she finds, and I think that is an easier way to build a business than starting at the, building your own brand, all U.S. workers. That's extremely expensive and hard. Although, shout out to DIY Mike if you guys want to check out his YouTube channel. A lot of the stuff in his eBay store he makes in the good old USA, start to finish, and he's Asian. Okay, so that's even funnier that he's in the U.S. And Asian, and he made the joke at eBay Open, like, what, because I'm Asian I only have Asian workers? That's just not true. I am also not like that. Two of my workers are white, so not that that really matters, but because of the positions that I hired for, this is very odd too. The two positions that I hired for that have white people working in it, 99% of the people who applied were white. And the other positions in my company that I put out there, zero white people applied. So I don't know. Like, it just turned out that it looks like that, but I didn't specific. I only hire for performance. Everything that I present in my company is very straightforward. And for the record, tying it back to this lady, she was saying that how can she create an environment where people want to come to work and they show up on time and they do more than they're expected to? That's very hard, okay? But I will say, in my experience, my workers always show up on time or even a little bit early. My mastermind calls run from 6 to 7 a.m. and I start work at 7. They're usually knocking on my door at 6:50 or 6:45. They come early to a job that they get paid per piece because the environment is nice. We cook together, we work together, and it's just a fun, healthy environment. Okay, here's the last one. Number 5 is she's been unfollowing complaining people or perfect people. And you hear that, right? You are the average of the 5 people you listen to most. And you hear all the time, stop following negative people. But she also stopped following perfect people, okay, because that's not real. It makes you depressed, it screws you up. And I don't have a better way of putting this, but I think it's from Gary Vee. He says that everyone is shit. Some people are just better at hiding it than others. And trying to keep my show more PG, but like, poop is not strong enough. Okay, so if you just assume that everyone is shit, including yourself, then the expectations go away. You can stop pretending. You can stop being fake and spending 35 minutes to generate an Instagram post. You can just post what you're doing, and even though it won't get ranked by the system, you can just be happy with it instead of trying to live for the likes, because it just doesn't make sense. So she stopped following perfect people and people who complain, and just focusing on people who are sharing exactly what they're doing and not so much trying to present a perfect picture or complaining. Because complaining, when you put the fault of whatever your situation is on somebody else, then you automatically are guaranteeing an unhappy life, in my opinion, because you can't do anything about it if you move the blame onto somebody else. So hopefully this is useful, guys. If you like this video, please like and comment something that you have overcome to get to your reselling career. By no means has my journey been a straight line, but definitely compared to the emails that I'm getting from people, my journey was a piece of cake compared to what people are overcoming to build their reselling business and earning the right to do whatever they want. And that I hate quoting Gary Vee this much in one video, but he talks about the fact that you are asking to live the exact life that you want. Why can't you put 100% of your effort into that? You're asking for everything, but not willing to give everything. You only want to give a little bit to give everything, and that doesn't make sense. So hopefully this inspires you guys to take action today. We'll be making daily content again. So everyone, have a great day. Take care.